Just put it over there. Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parikacharya Steresada Shishimana's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premsiko Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Maipur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 50, and we'll be doing verses 22 and 23 today because they're very short commentaries on both. And I'm going to read 22 myself, and then we'll responsively do 23. So first 22, and this one I'll just do myself. Hari paran ikka prayo muchan muho shili mukatyubana varsha piditam swasainyam alokya Surasurachitam Vyaspura Yayacharanga Sharasonotamam. Translation: seeing his army tormented by the relentless and savage rain of arrows from the massive opposing forces gathered like clouds around him, Lord Hari twanged his excellent bow Sharanga, which both gods and demons worship. And the short commentary by Jiva Goswami says, Krishna, Hari, would destroy the enemy. Krishna's troops were terrified by the arrows of the enemy, but not wounded by them, for it is said that his troops remained intact, and that will come up in text 35. This happened by his great skills. According to Sridhar Swami, Yashpura Jayat means he pulled the bowstring and took aim. Text number 23, and this we will do responsively. Text 23. Okay, this will repeat. Grinan Nishangad Atasanda Dachcharan Viriksha Munchan Shita Banga Pungan Nignan Ratan Kunjara Vajipatin Nirantaram Yadvad Alata Chakram Grinan Nishangadata Sanda Dachcharan Viriksha Munchan Shita Banga Pungan Nignan Ratan Kunjara Vajipatin Nirantaram Yadvad Alata Chakram. Devotees. Nirnan Nishadata Sadacharatran. Nirnan Nishangarata Chandarachcharan Nirviriksha Munchan Shita Banga Pungan Nigan Ratam Kunjara Vajipatin Nirantaram Yadvad Alata Chakram Grinan Nishangarata Chandaracharan Niriksha Muchan Shita Bana Pungan Nignan Ratan Kunjara Vajipatin Nirantaram Yadvad Alata Chakram Grinan Nishangarata Sandarachcharan Niriksha Muchan Shita Banak Pungan Nigan Ratam Kunjara Rajipatin Nirantaram Yadvad Alata Chakram Nirhan Nishanga Ata Sandarachcharan Viriksha Munchan Shita Bana Pungan Nigan Ratam Kunjara Vajipatin Nirantaram Yadvad Alata Chakram. Ladies? Anyone? Grinan Nishangarata Chanda Dachcharan Ririksha Mujjan Shitabana Pungan Ningnan Ratan Kunjara Vajipatin Nirantaram Yadvad Alata Chakram. Could someone get me a glass of water, please? Yeah. Greenan, taking. Vishangat, from his quiver. Ata, then. Sandadhat, fixing. Charan, arrows. Viriksha, no, excuse me, Vikrishya, pulling back. Munchan, releasing. Shita, sharp. Bana, of arrows. Pungan, floods. Nignan, striking. Ratan, chariots. Kunjara, elephants. Vaji, horses. Patin, and infantrymen. Nirantaram, relentlessly. Yadvat, just like. Alata Chakram, a burning torch whirled around to make a circle of fire. Translation by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Lord Krishna took arrows from his quiver, fixed them on the bowstring, pulled back, and released endless torrents of sharp shafts, which struck the enemy's chariots, elephants, horses, and infantrymen. The Lord, shooting his arrows, resembled a blazing circle of fire. Please repeat. Lord Krishna took arrows from his quiver, fixed them on the bowstring, pulled back, and released endless torrents of sharp shafts, which struck the enemy's chariots, elephants, horses, and infantrymen. The Lord shooting his arrows resembled a blazing circle of fire. Vishwanath Chakravarti and Jiva Goswami both have commentary on this verse. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, seeing his own army afflicted by the fierce shower of arrows from the cloud of the enemy troops, Krishna drew his bow. In what manner? Continuously drawing arrows from his quiver one by one, he fixed them on the string, drew the string, and then released them, thereby destroying all the chariots and other things. The word continuously, nirantaram, modifies all the verbs. To take up the arrows, string them to the bow, shoot them, and destroy the chariots. Though the actions were in sequence, they appeared to onlookers to be happening continuously. That is, Krishna appeared to be doing millions of actions at once. Thus, the bow releasing arrows against the enemy troops surrounding Mathura on all sides appeared just like a circle of a firebrand when whirled around. That'll be a hard one to put on special effects, but nowadays we could probably do that. But it's inconceivable how Krishna is now shooting all these arrows almost. It's happening so fast that you can't even see. Millions of arrows happening at once. Jiva Goswami writes, here what amazing event happened next. Immediately, he took arrows from his quiver. The sentence continues into the next verse. The arrows struck not only the chariots, but everything attached to the chariots. This is understood from the next verse. His arrows created a circle all around, like a circle of a firebrand, or Krishna appeared everywhere like a firebrand. He did this by releasing a host of sharp arrows. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyanan Gyanan Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitan Gena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swabadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Badaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminitanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bacharani Nirasesa Sunyavadi Prashadeshtarni Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. We are beginning the battle between Jarasandha and all his armies, an inconceivable amount of soldiers, 22 Akshahinis, which it translates to numbers in the millions, an inconceivable number of soldiers fighting against Krishna, practically alone, along with Balaram and a few soldiers. And it's described in the first verse I read how these soldiers were completely surrounded, like an ocean of soldiers around just a few. And of course, that's a heroic position to be in. Like in history, we learn about the Alamo, where the Alamo in Texas, where a few soldiers would fight against a vast army. Or there's other stories. There's always so many stories. The Spartans holding off the Persians in the Persian Wars in ancient times. It engenders a certain kind of just awe and reverence to how brave these personalities are. So Krishna and his few soldiers, along with Balaram, of course, they're completely surrounded by this ocean, this army, this ocean of Jarasandha's army outside of Mathura. Of course, Jarasandha is attacking because Krishna had killed Kamsa, who was married to his two daughters, and he wanted to avenge this wrong he thought had been done to his family. So he's attacking. It's inconceivable. He should easily win this battle. But as we know, Krishna, he is really inconceivable, achintya, which means he's beyond. I mean, the fact that Jarasandha had an army as big as it was, that's inconceivable. But even more inconceivable is the inconceivableness of the Supreme Lord, who is able to completely dominate and defeat the army by himself. Really, it doesn't need anybody else. So in this way, this is only the first. There's going to be 17 more times that Jarasandha does this, because each time Krishna defeats his army, he sends Jarasandha home, and Jarasandha keeps his anger and then amasses another army. I mean, these armies, after the 10th or 12th time, they must be thinking, maybe this isn't the best thing I should be doing. But in any case, it keeps going on and on. And these are the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. When we want to understand how great God is, we have to understand that we can't understand how great God is. In all different religious systems and spiritual systems of the world, God is understood to be great. But how great God is actually unknown. It's sometimes said that you can't even know how great God is in some religious circles. And actually, we say the same thing. We can't know, but we do see through examples of how great God is. And this inconceivable nature of the Lord is absolutely essential because without him being conceivable, he wouldn't be who he is. If we could understand Krishna, we wouldn't be understanding Krishna. We can only begin to see how great he is through the eyes of advanced devotees or pure devotees like the six Goswamis, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like our Srila Prabhupada, because they can actually understand, because they are actually on the platform of the spiritual world. Because only one who sees with the eyes of someone, with the eyes of spirit, not with the material eyes. Premanjana charita bhakti velochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shaima shundaram achintya guna swarupam govindamadi parusham tamaham bhajami. That we have to have eyes which are tinged with the salve of love of God in order to understand who he is. And that understanding will be an understanding of an understanding, because we never understand how great Krishna is, because Krishna is always greater. And in fact, Radharani is always greater than Krishna. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya comes in order to teach us how to be devotees, and also to taste the love of Radha that Radha has for Krishna. All of these things are inconceivable outside of the process of Krishna consciousness devotional service. Let's read some verses about this inconceivable nature of the Lord that Srila Prabhupada has spoken, because his examples are very illuminating. From a Bhagavad Gita lecture in 1968 in Montreal, Prabhupada states, "Now there are so many things that are not possible even to understand by the modern scientific process of scientific experimental knowledge. It is not possible. So there's so many things in this world we can't understand." And then he says, and what to speak about God? "You cannot know even material objects by your so-called scientific study and research." Always researching, always finding things they can't understand. You can know little more, that's all. Not complete. We add little more, so that we understand 10%, 20% of the material world, perhaps. But it's not complete. So Vedanta Sutra advises, "Achintya kalu ye bhava natams tarkena yojayet." Things which are beyond your imagination, beyond your reach, beyond your thoughts, beyond your words, beyond your sense perception. How can you understand them by your experimental so-called scientific research? Achintya. Achintya means inconceivable, inconceivable. Now we cannot conceive even these material things. We can't even understand these material things, let alone stretch ourselves to understand the source of everything. In Bombay in 1973, Prabhupada speaks, Krishna Antarbahi, he is situated outside and inside. Simply, we have to make our eyes and senses perfect to see him. Krishna is not invisible, he is visible, but one who has got the eyes to see him, one can see, otherwise not. Therefore, in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Velochanena Hrideshu Sadaiva Vilokayanti. Those who have developed Krishna consciousness, love of Godhead, they can see the Supreme, the personality of Godhead. Shaima Shundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam. Shaima Shundaram, this beautiful blackish personality, Shama Shundaram, Achintya Gunaswarupam, inconceivable form. The reservoir of all transcendental qualities, Achintya Guna. Achintya means inconceivable. The qualities which Krishna has got, that is inconceivable by us. He has got those qualities. So, the idea being that Krishna we render Krishna's pictures with the gopis. We have so many nice pictures. But this is our attempt to actually render. And Prabhupada, of course, said these were windows to the spiritual world, and he told the devotees, showed the devotees how to paint these pictures. But we should understand that we are reproducing something that our material senses can see. Just like the deities here. Radha Golokananda, for one who is on perfect platform, like Srila Prabhupada, this is a complete, when we have darshan, a person like this has darshan of Krishna in a complete sense. After all, in the story of Shakshi Gopal, the deity spoke and walked because he was interacting, the deity, Krishna, was interacting with a pure devotee who had the ability to actually see this, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochana, because they had pure love. For us, we may not have, I don't have pure love. So I do see the deities as beautiful, and I appreciate how wonderfully they're dressed. But at my point of devotional service, I'm hoping the deity sees me and blesses me that I might be able to see them more purely. But this is Krishna, inconceivable, beyond our understanding. Why are these pastimes happening? Because these pastimes are being exhibited to us so that we can have a glimmer of understanding of our misunderstanding. So that we understand that by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, by chanting the Maha Mantra and by following the process of Krishna consciousness, that gradually everything will be revealed to us. We won't reveal it, it will be revealed to us. It's not by our efforts. Our efforts are to become open to hear from Him, to see Him. Again, let's read some more about Achintya. In Mayapur, this is one of Prabhupada's last classes. He gave this class on February 26, 1977. Therefore, the Lord's power, exhibition of power, and sharp nails, they're all inconceivable. This is from the pastime of Nrsingadev killing Hiranyakashipu. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, 6th verse. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained, unless you accept inconceivable power of the Supreme Lord, there is no understanding. Now, I've looked over a lot of verses. I may get to some other ones too. Prabhupada quotes Jiva Goswami here many times about how unless we accept achintya, the inconceivable nature of the Lord, there is no understanding. We can't understand unless we know that there's no way to understand. Achintya, achintya chakti. Achintya means inconceivable. You cannot speculate how it is happening, how the lotus flower there is so hard that a nail immediately, within a second, it could kill a great demon like Hiranyakashipu. So it's described how the Lord has lotus feet, lotus hands, lotus eyes, soft. But in a second, they become the nails of Hiranyakashipu. Therefore, it is achintya. We cannot conceive achintya. And therefore, Vedic instruction is achintya kalu ye bhava natams tarkena no yo yajet. Do not apply your poor logic in matters which are inconceivable for you. Don't stretch. There's no way we can. One of the meanings of the word maya, illusion, is also to measure. We want to measure how big is the universe, how big is the sun, how big is that, how small is this. Krishna is greater than the greatest and smaller than the smallest. There's no way you can measure Krishna. He's beyond measurement. There is no logic that how lotus flower can grow nails. They say mythology. but they cannot conceive within their poor brain. They cannot accommodate how things happen like that. They say mythology, not mythology. It is fact. But it is inconceivable by you or us. It is not possible. And the modern term mythology, it's an old term, but it certainly means now something that, it's a way of explaining things before we actually knew how to measure things. So you see so many ways that modern thinkers try to explain ancient mysteries, even things like from the Bible, the parting of the Red Sea. It was a strange tide. It was something, maybe it was some sort of storm that did something that just looked like a miracle. Even if it was a storm that did something, it's still a miracle, because Krishna, he uses whatever energy he wants to use in order to achieve his result. So there may be, a material explanation for inconceivable things. But even those material explanations don't actually explain what's really happening. Because there's different causes. There's the noumenal cause and the remote cause. There's the immediate cause of what we see. But then there's the remote cause, or the cause behind the cause, which is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam. Ishvara Parama Krishna, he's the controller. Parama, greatest controller. Satchit Ananda Vigraha, he's the embodiment of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. So that every living entity in the spiritual world, they are actually Satchit Ananda, eternal, knowledgeable, and blissful. We in the material world, we're Achit, temporary. We're Asat, we're Asat, temporary. Achit, foolish or ignorant. And we're Nirananda, we're without Ananda. We try to replace this with some knowledge, with medicines to live longer, with ways to increase our happiness, more and more stuff to titillate the senses. But it never works, because the eternal soul, which is Satchidananda, can never be happy with any sort of temporary emolument, as Prabhupada would use this word, emolument, some temporary kind of solution. So then the next line is Anadir Adir Govinda. There is no other cause. In other words, Anadir Adir. Nothing created Krishna. Krishna's always been. And then finally, Sarva Karna Karnam. Everything is caused by him. So this is inconceivable. And then Prabhupada writes, again from a lecture in Montreal in 1968, this Krishna is called Shyamashundara. Shyamashundara means blackish, but he's very beautiful, very, very beautiful. Shyamashundaram achintya guna swarupam. Achintya means inconceivable. His qualities, his transcendental qualities are inconceivable. When in the Vedic literature it is said that God is qualityless nirguna, nirguna means he is transcendental to these material qualities. But his transcendental qualities are there. He is called that achintya guna swarupam govindam. He's inconceivable. Nirgun, like the Mayavadis, they say, Krishna is nirguna, without form. And we're saguna, with form. Therefore, without form means nothing. That everything is ultimately is formless. But formless doesn't mean formless. Ultimately, it means no material form. As an example given before, just like there are unlimited numbers. I mean, you can't count all the numbers. They're unlimited. But there are unlimited negative numbers and there's unlimited positive numbers. In the material world, we have unlimited negative numbers. Everything ultimately is negative. I mean, we don't want to be negative, but at the same time, for the example here, is everything is negative because it's without Krishna. Now, there's one number that enables all the other numbers, because we use a decimal system, called 0, and it's neither negative or positive. It's nothing. It's shunyavad or nirvishesh. So the impersonalists think that the perfection is getting out of the negative numbers and coming to 0. But they don't know about the positive numbers. Because the positive numbers, for those who are always in negative numbers, are inconceivable, because how can there be anything else but what we got? We've got unlimited stuff here and the negatives. So how can there be a positive? The opposite of what we got has to be nothing. But by hearing from the Bhagavatam and hearing from personalities like Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our Srila Prabhupada, we understand that there are unlimited spiritual numbers. That is, there's unlimited spiritual variety, just as there is seemingly unlimited material variety. There is so much variety in this world. They're always finding something new. Some new species, some new they didn't know existed last week, but they know now. They're always finding something else. So it seems unlimited. So Prabhupada also writes in another context here about inconceivable notion here. He writes, yes. This is a lecture in Los Angeles in 1976. He hasn't got to work for maintaining his establishment. No, he is complete, and he's staying there, just like Krishna. It is said in Shastra, Vrindavanam prityaja na padam ekam gachati. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He doesn't go anywhere. He's always existing there, but still he's everywhere. That is his inconceivable potency. Goloka eva nivasat yakilatma bhuto. We are limited. I am sitting here. I am not in my apartment. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is in his abode, Goloka Vrindavan. He doesn't leave that place any moment, but you'll find Krishna everywhere. So this is the point, is that like Dr. Frog, the famous Dr. Frog that Prabhupada speaks about, who lives in a well that's 6 feet across, and when informed that there is an ocean that's unlimited in size, the Atlantic Ocean, he then tries to conjure up what that means. Something twice as big, 3 times as big, maybe 100 times as big, 200 times as big, 1,000,000 times as big. But if it's inconceivable, you'll never get a number big enough to actually understand what it is. Only when we can leave the logical, rational, materialistic, box-like thinking of Dr. Frog can we actually understand the greatness of Krishna. Prabhupada writes speaks in San Francisco, 1967. Suppose I am personally sitting here. If I want to speak something, and I can change into another, but that machine cannot change. It will simply produce the sound. What is recorded there. Therefore, it is separated energy. Similarly, these 8 elements, they are called separated energy. That's earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. They are called separated energy. God, from God, inconceivable potencies. This energy has come out, this material energy, and it is acting mechanically, just like the same way the tape recorder. Nobody has got power to change it, but it is working. It is working. And it is working so nicely because it emanated from the absolute truth. It is appearing just like truth. Just like another example. If I find some beautiful doll in a shopkeeper's window, it appears, just like a beautiful, nice girl. So what we see in this material world appears to be real, and it is real, but it's real only because of Krishna. Even though we're thinking, I made this. We developed this technology. We developed this. We developed that. Everything ultimately is coming from the inconceivable energies of the Supreme Lord. Getting close to the end. Okay. So, how do we tap into this? How do we leave our mind, which is bound by matter, behind? We throw ourselves in with full, firm faith and conviction into the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In Kirtan, Japa, whatever, this mantra has the power to free our minds from all the limited materialistic conceptions that have bound us here for billions and billions of births. And it's all been given to us by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Nandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Dinandana Braja Baranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Braja Baranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana Kaliya Damana Vidana Kaliya Damana Vidana Kaliya Damana Vidana Amala Hari Nama Miya Vilasa 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 Vipinan Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Valsivadana Suvasa Vipinan Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsivadana Suvasa Vipinan Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsivadana Suvasa Vipinan Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsivadana Suvasa Rajajana Palana Surakula Nashana Rajabana Palana Surakula Nashana Rajajana Palana Surakula Nashana Rajajana Palana Surakula Nashana Nanda Godana Rakulaya Nanda Godana Rakulaya Nanda Godana Rakulaya Nanda Dana Rakulaya Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya 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 Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara 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 Bhakti Vinoda Shraya Bhakti Vinoda Shraya Bhakti Vinoda Shraya Bhakti Vinoda Shraya Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara Bhakti Vinoda Shraya Bhakti Vinoda Shraya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe 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 Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Shri Radha Golokananda Ki Jai. Lord Krishna is beloved son of Yashoda, transcendental lover in the land of Braj, the delight of Gokula, known by the nickname Kana, the wealth of the lives of the gopis, the attractor of Cupid and punisher of the serpent Kaliya. These pure holy names of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastimes. Lord of the 12 forests of Braj, ever youthful, the best of lovers, player of the flute, an excellent dresser, protector of the inhabitants of Braj, destroyer of the dynasty, keeper and tender of Nanda's cows, giver of pleasure to cows, land, and spiritual senses, husband of the goddess of fortune, butter thief, and beautiful little cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj, wanderer of the Yamuna river banks, thief of the garments of the gopis, enjoyer of the mellows of the rasa dance, very merciful, lover and beloved of Sri Radha, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the only shelter of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. And a reminder, we're having Harinam at noon today in front of Weaver Street Market here in Hillsborough. It's going to be a nice day. Please come and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chaito Darpana Marjanam, Baba Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam, Vijayavadu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Pradipanam Purnamrita Swadanam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis, Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala, Etadrishita Vakripa Hariba Mapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajanina Trinada Pi Sunichena Tarora Pi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrishim Vachintaya Nayanam Galashu Daraya Varanam Gadgadurdaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahaneva Vishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Bravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Panastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Pato Mat Prananatastu Saeva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy name, but I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. Oneself lower than a straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causes, devotional service, birth after birth. O Samaraj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do